Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Price List Update Summary video series brought to you by Actionable Insights. You've got Harrison here, you've got Whatley there, and we're here to talk about the new line items that were added to the Xactimate price list in August of 2023. And guess what? We've got a little surprise for you because we have a guest with us. In fact, it's not a guest, it's a new permanent host that will be added to this show forever. I hope you're ready for that. Mr. Derek Stone has joined the Actionable team as our Associate Director of Membership Resources. Welcome, Derek. Why don't you let the insiders watching this video, let them know who you are and what you're here to do?
Absolutely. Hi, guys. My name is Derek Stone. I've been in this industry for 20 years as both a carrier adjuster and a contractor. I joined Actionable Insights to promote the betterment of our industry as a whole.
Nice. And that is the whole reason that our 501c6 exists.
All right.
To make
came to the right place, man.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Welcome, Derek, for all of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like on whatever platform you're watching. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, Threads, X. That's a thing now. So we're on all the platforms. If you're looking to watch Actionable Insights and our content, hit that like button. In the meantime, guys, I've added some new stuff to the monthly recordings. I hope you like it. Let's jump to the first section on the price list update summary where we talk about the new line items. New line items. All right, jumping in here, we have 12 new line items this month in August of 2023. Let's start here at the top. I've got 4 line items that have the same selector code SMAT. DMO SMAT, HMR SMAT, TCR SMAT, WTR SMAT. These are sticky tacky mat line items in the primary mitigation categories, even in DMO and repair. Whatley and Derek, as long as I've been in this industry, I've been walking on top of sticky mats. And there's been a lot of conversations over the years as to, hey, is this a material? Is this a cost of doing business? Is this a tool of the trade? Well, there is now officially a line item in the software around sticky tacky mats in these categories. Whatley, what's your immediate reaction to these new line items?
About time. This is a consumable, and this will help transcend a lot of impasses in claim settlement. I use them on every job as a restorer, and in fact, Emergency Packout Co., our contents company, still uses these on a lot of our high-end jobs. So it's great that there's finally a line item for it. Stone, didn't Midwest you still use a lot of these?
Absolutely. This is a great way to
and at anywhere from $2 to $4 here in the San Diego price list, these line items are not breaking the bank of claims. And so, hey, it's nice to have these as an option to be invoicing as accurately as possible. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to buy a mat, they typically come with like 100 plus of sticky. I think they're considerably more, by the way, than $2. You can't buy that for $2. These are giant stickers. I think what's happening is they're assuming what consumption amounts of the sticky mats, because you can reuse it from one job to another. It seems to me that
4 mats of 30
you're
sheets
go through
each.
30 sheets. So 4 mats with 30 sheets each is $2.
That is the component price per sticky tacky mat. Base sticky mat and labor up to 24 inches by 36 inches mats. I believe this is per the mat, or at least 4 mats of 30 sheets each. Yeah.
Okay. I'm now Googling what a sticky mat cost. I got $62 from Uline right now. So, oh boy, I guess it depends on what mats we're talking about. But it seems like I think it's an appropriate cost for how it's going to be used in restoration. That's not what I'm reflecting on. But so as you get into the components of that, it's not tracking for me perfectly how we're arriving at the conclusion that it's $2. Harrison, why is the unit price different between HMR, TCR? There's labor in there?
Yes, there is. So each one of these line items has the labor component of that particular labor category. So naturally, if you're putting a sticky mat in place in an HMR environment, you'll have HMR labor doing that. That's why there is a price difference, because you have CLN-R for WTR, you have the TCR cleaning technician and the TCR line item as the labor component, etc. So it's a good call out. While often we see in mitigation line items, they are material only components.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's WTR or HMR. If the only thing in that line item is a material component and the material component is the same price, then it's going to be the line items will have the same price across category. But yes, there are labor, just similar to labor to tape drop cloths, right? There's labor to implement this stuff and put it in place.
Yeah, Harrison, I'd make a note to clarify that with the pricing department. I think the additional item information could be more clear. I'm continuing to pull up sticky mats for just the replacements that are ranging between $95 and $149. I can't connect that to the dots of what's listed there in the components.
Got it.
I'm not saying the price is wrong, but I think
Sure.
the clarification and text around it could be improved.
I think the number one thing here is this is a unit of each. Now, I know the additional item information does state, what is it, up to 24 sticky tacky mat. I mean, if we look at, hey, by the way, the direct yield is 120, not one. So it's saying the per mat price is 75 cents a mat. So if you took your Uline number and divided by the total number of mats in there,
So
that's
you're
where
going to
the price
bill for 5
per
mats.
mat. Yes. Which we'll see.
That makes some sense to do
There
it
you
that
go.
way. That does give some flexibility. Okay. Well, I'm glad we unpacked that one.
Yes.
So what's your baseline? If you're an adjuster stone, what would be a reasonable amount of sticky mats for a 3-day dry out with 6 air movers and 2 dehues? How many sticky mats would be warranted?
I'd say,
what do
especially
you
during
think?
the initial phases, pre-demo, during demolition, you're going to go through a lot more of them. That does trail off as you dry out the structure. 4 or 5 of those a day is probably very practical and common.
So, and Whatley, in your prescribed 3-day, it might be up to 15 mats as standardized. So, guys, this is something to look at. I'm glad we're unpacking it.
Yeah,
and we're putting
$30
this
for
video.
mats, that's reasonable, right? So you do 3 times 5. I think it would bill out that way. So I think we would organize around 5 per day. Stone.
This
is
will
reasonable
be-
and customary.
I'm sure, Whatley, this will be a common conversation in our Facebook group, Xactimate Ninjas, around how to use these and what's the appropriate amount. So, number one, guys, anytime a new line item comes out for something that never existed before, like this, there was never a sticky tacky mat line item. It's going to be used in different ways, and I encourage you all to have conversations about what's reasonable and appropriate when applying this new line item in your invoices on a regular basis. Okay.
Yeah. Can we
Sticky
expect
mats are
some rules from that next month to hit?
So yes, Derek and I, before this recording, had already started working on the new actionable profile alerts that will come up around these new line items that exist. So that's a reminder. If you are estimating in Xactimate and you want the best possible estimate you can write every time, check out the actionable profile at getinsights.org. That's where we have a profile, an Xactimate, that provides you live estimating guidance. And every month when there's new line items that come out, we add new alerts to the profile to remind you to use those new line items. Thank you, Derek Stone. All right. There are 4 new line items, Whatley, that I know you're excited about in the WTR category around cove base removal. Tear out cove base molding after hours, bag, no bagging, cat up to cat 3 line item for it. So we've got 4 variations here around tearing out cove base molding. Whatley, why was this a necessary addition? Did we have removal of cove base molding before this?
No, not in the WTR category. You could do the removal of cove base, but that really is not an elegant way to do it if you've got a WTR line, WTR centric estimate, right? And
yes,
what do
if you're
adjusters
writing a
wanna see,
mitigation
Stone?
invoice,
You want to see WTR, right? That's what they want to see if you're an adjuster. So to that end, this creates space for you to remove code base, and I think this is it's a carrier centric line item in some sense, because otherwise you'd just be removing baseboard. But reviewing baseboard is much harder. It's got nails in it. It's harder to bag up, so on. I could rip out all the code base in this commercial room right here in I don't know, maybe 6 minutes flat. That wouldn't be
Do
the same
it.
way, right, with baseboard. So I think it's just a more accurate way to allocate those costs. And so I'm imagining rules, Stone, if you recognize through the algorithm that it's a commercial loss, and it's WTR, then this may be warranted, right?
Yep. I love it. Okay. Tear out cove base in the WTR category now exists. All right. Let's move here to the next 3 new line items in the ELS category. These are related to electric vehicle charging stations. They're all 240 volt. You got 240 volt high grade, and then even a pedestal or bollard line item in the ELS category for electric vehicle charging stations. Whatley, you're my resident Tesla guy. Big fan. Okay. Do you have an electric vehicle charging station at your house?
2.
Okay. So if you have a loss at your house, you can have some confidence that your loss, Xactimate can handle it, because there's now a line item for electrical vehicle charging stations, which we know California and Florida tend to be the 2 funky places where insurance trends happen, It's not saying that car trends happen there, but generally speaking, electric vehicles seem to be. Yes, I know I say generally speaking a lot, and that's what he reacts to. Generally speaking, thank you.
There it is.
There's a lot more electrical
We're
vehicles.
all keeping track at home.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Should we get a general speaking counter in the bottom right?
Yeah,
Generally
right.
or generally speaking.
Harrison, make the line item number 9 the standard grade material for me. I want to see what the material is or how much labor is included in that line item.
Material 645.
Yeah, so that's based off a Tesla version 3.
Oh yeah, electric vehicle charging station 645.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, there can be
level
more
2 EV.
complicated Bosch ones that would be more expensive on the high end for material, but that's the right amount. And then for the labor, it's not that generous, but it would work. And then for that particular loss, it's going to be fine, probably. But it would be difficult, is what I'm implying, to get an electrician out to install a electric vehicle charger for under $400. Under the perfect scenario, if everything was there, then maybe, but not really in our town.
Understood.
So, but it would work after a fire, right? Because you've got economies of scale and so on, and that's when it would come up. So I think it works.
Okay, the final line item this month is a siding line item, SDG, for a meter base mounting J block. Now, often when we're looking at new line items in Xactimate, we first check for, is there an image? And there is no image here. So we pulled up Captain Google and we said, Captain Google, what do you have for a meter base mounting J block? And we found a bunch of reference images here for that meter mounting block. Now, what is it referencing here when the line item says J block? Stone, what do you have for us here?
So that's a prefabricated unit that has J-channel installed in the side so that you can create a watertight seal with a new siding install. And then you mount the meter base to that.
Perfect. All right. So there are your 12 new Xactimate line items added to the price list in August 2023. Let us now take a look at, let's check out the changes. Checking out the changes. All right, I am going to open up 2 estimates here. On the left side, you're going to have an estimate with July 2023 price list and pricing. And on the right side, we are going to have August. So we can take a look at what changed in existing line items from July to August. And there is not a small list of changes this month for us to look at, gentlemen. Number 1, let's take a look at some yield adjustments. When you change the yield or productivity of a line item, that impacts the price of a line item. And people are always interested in changing prices of line items in Xactimate. Like, what is changing in the prices? So, Stone, is it safe to say that the majority of people in the industry are doing some kind of drywall texture on a pretty regular basis? So your DryTex Minus, and your DryTex MK, these are your standard drywall textures, have had an adjustment to the yield. So taking a look at the San Diego price list here in July, for machine texture, we had 84 cents a square foot. In August, we now have 90 cents a square foot. That's a 6-cent increase, which is about an 8% increase, I think, if I were to do the math quickly. But our favorite thing here to do at Actionable and when we train is to really look at the details. So I'm going to come to the right side of the line item here. I'm going to hit the unit price, and I'm going to hit the I for information on this DryTex Minus line item so we can take a look at what actually changed here. And if we come to the components, you can see that texture spray updated a little bit, and texture compound is the same, but the biggest movement here is around the labor. And so how much drywall texture can a drywall technician apply in an hour? And you see the direct yield used to be 275 square feet per hour, and it's been moved down to 260 square feet per hour. And we know when something becomes harder to do or productivity goes down, the price of that activity goes up. So that is where we're seeing this inverse relationship between yield and price, where the yield went down, meaning it is harder to apply texture, or essentially you cannot apply as much texture as originally I thought in those line items. Therefore, productivity went down and the price overall of these line items went up. Whatley, any thoughts on this here?
Yeah, I mean, in our travels over the last decade, one of the common complaints is I can't make money doing any drywall work. So I think we're bending towards normalizing the prices of drywall. I think that's excellent. I want to know if you have the new build with a synonym search. Can you search orange peel for me?
Sure. So this is something that Xactimate has been working on. where if there are essentially synonyms that are now enabled in the software, such that if you're looking for a term, a regional term, a unique term,
How about
it
like
is
Matterport?
possible.
See, well,
Okay.
So orange peel would go to machine, right? Machine texture
Well,
is
yes, orange peel right now, if you're learning this for the first time, if you're searching for orange peel, it's going to point you towards texture. Now, we know that orange peel specifically is the machine knockdown texture.
No, machine texture. Not
sorry,
knockdown.
machine. Sorry, not knockdown. Machine texture. So, but right now,
knockdown
orange peel
would
is
be
just
light hand texture or heavy hand texture, just for our audience. So machine
Got it.
would be not typically knockdown, and you're just spraying it out of the hopper.
Dry text minus. Yes, I was getting dry text minus and dry text MK confused. Machine knockdown. Generally speaking, if you are, gosh, there's the
Number
counter.
4.
Make it 3 or 4.
Hey,
gosh.
see if Matterport works.
Okay. So what I'm trying to point out here is that if you
nice.
are looking for things, Xactimate is working on making it easier for you to find those things.
That's right.
So
That's
that's
cool.
very helpful
Yeah.
that you can look for these terms and still have relevant line items pop up. So nice little
Cool.
highlight there.
Yeah, the software's getting better all the time, man. That's a great step in the right direction.
There were 3 line items to masonry, or 3 changes to the masonry acid wash line items. So you have 2 line items in CLN category, CLN AW, CLN MAS, and then you also have a line item in the MAS category, masonry, for MAS AW. Really, if you look at the efficiencies again, we'll come in here, hit the eye for information, and take a look at the yields. You'll notice that previously they thought that you could clean up to 94 square feet in a perfect environment per hour, and that's been dropped down to 87 square feet. So productivity went down, and the price went slightly up. It went from, let's see, on the left side in July, 91 cents for San Diego. Now it's 97 cents for San Diego.
I love these little tweaks, man. It shows you how much human capital they're throwing at surveying these various regions and making adjustments to the yields. It's cool. Happens every
Now
month.
I see in major news publications, when you put out an article and you make a mistake, in the next edition, they have you highlight, comments on I got to correct the comments from the previous edition. Yeah, editor's note. I got a little editor's note for everybody. We put out a big video last month on the low voltage box.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about what they are for, and you'll see new language where it specifically says this new ELE LVB low voltage box line item is for exterior applications.
Yeah,
That
I
now
was
says
wrong.
it in the line. It says it in the line item description. It says it in the additional item information. So if you just listen to us, we were close to right, but not perfectly
so
right.
I thought like that JBox, what they were using a different line item. I guess I would just use outlet JBox, more traditional for both your low voltage. Think your RJ45, Cat 6 stuff, Stone. That's what I thought was inside, but nope. This is just an exterior line item. Harrison, is it the same price as the low voltage for siding? It's different, right?
It's different line items because I was just pulling that up. We've historically had a siding line item for detach and reset.
Okay.
That is different than the actual just ELE exterior low voltage box line.
Do you make that an I on the new line item?
Okay, so you would like to compare that to the $39 price of the existing?
Yeah, cheaper.
$28.25
because it's just the install. I think it's all the same mathematics. It's just a different application of what actually is going on. So the install, the detach would be $10. Yeah, I think I know what's going on here. And that one just included the material. So
got it.
All right, nice.
Wonderful. Now, other additional item informations to look at. There are a couple line items in the PLM plumbing category around steam shower and steam shower/bath. It was caught that the additional item information was saying the wrong things in these line items.
No, it had omitted the 8 kilowatt generator in the additional item information, despite the fact the components listed that 8 kilowatt steam generator there. So you can see it formally in the components buildup. However, it was omitted from the additional item information, and that is overcome by events with this new published price list.
So I will show here to say, hey, the additional item information now states the 8 kilowatt steam generator, which has always been in there as a component, but now the additional item information states it so that you don't have to click in 4 different places to confirm what is or is not in the line item. All the same information is in the same place, which is always a helpful improvement. All right, roofing. There's a pitch T and a vent EP line item. These are pitch pan pockets and exhaust cap line items, but specifically historically, they were only applied to PVC and TPO. And the pricing department has made efforts here to clarify that these line items would also contemplate rubber-oriented application. So if you're doing any kind of EPDM or rubber application in these would be the line items you would use for those pitch pan pockets or exhaust caps in those scenarios.
Yeah, you
Right.
and TVS, Todd Van
Sant
from ATI worked through those TPO rubber PVC. Stone, if you could go back and audit those rules and just make sure that rubber is included as it relates to this new update to the description, I think that'd be wise. Cool.
Which is good for everybody to know. One of the biggest pushes for the actionable profile July and August has been there's a huge collection of new roofing alerts, both residential and commercial. So some of these changes are in reference to the work that's being done to clarify all of the estimating guidance and the actionable profile here. Okay, lastly, we've got WDA SPL, SPAL, and WDWSP. These are specialty wood or specialty aluminum windows. All they've done here is clarifying the additional item information that if you are putting back the original window and you're not replacing it, they're pointing to the WDA retrofit line item. So it's always nice when a line item points to, hey, in this particular scenario, you might also want this line item. Now you can be sure that the actionable profile in the future will have alerts that remind you, hey, if you are not replacing this specialty window, you may need to add the retrofit line item to contemplate the costs associated with performing that activity accurately.
My gut says that the actionable profile would catch it. Do you want to test it?
Not right now, because we are working on a video recording call. Okay, but I love where your mind
magic,
goes, man.
It's getting so damn good. For those of you listening, I've been holding back my endorsement of the actionable profile because the software wasn't at a point where it was stable enough and fast enough, and the rule set wasn't complete enough where I felt it warranted like my absolute endorsement of like, this is a no-brainer buy. If you're an IA, if you're a restorer, it's a no-brainer buy. You can onboard new staff members and say, hey, use the actionable profile, and there's your training. It's done because the AI is guiding you from not including line items that are overtly overages. It's basically impossible to do that now. And then to omit warranted line items, you'd almost have to try. And so in so doing, you're training your people straight away, and you no longer have to do it. The AI is doing it. You're welcome. This software, and thanks to a lot of work, not our work, Harrison, coming out of Verisk, the performance is where it needs to be. It doesn't slow the user down. The rule sets are complete, and this product is absolutely awesome. Now, you'd be nuts not to try it, and it's flipping free for your first month. So
it has been actionable.
I don't know how you wouldn't at this point.
When we started Actionable Whatley, 501c6, the goal of improving the restoration industry, property insurance ecosystem, this profile and the estimating guidance that we can provide has been our best opportunity yet to help the industry all at once at the same time. So very thankful for the opportunity to continue building that. Guys, I have one final section for us with a fun little intro. Let's go forward to the future.
Ooh. Forward to the future.
All right. As we know, every time new line items are added, occasionally they will provide us. That was a fun sentence. Every time, occasionally. Occasionally, the pricing department will give us some guidance on what line items are coming in the future. So taking a look here, items for lightweight, waterproof tile shower backer board. We've seen that listed a few times now, so we know those are coming. Items to detach and reset a medicine cabinet in the WTR category.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Items for removing oversized or multi-member baseboard to WTR category.
That's a good line item. Yep.
Okay. Items for armored cable. And items for garage door panels.
Because they're going to replace just one panel at a time. Yep, that makes sense. Cool.
So that's what may be coming in the future thanks to the preview that Verisk provides and the Xactimate pricing department provides. But in the meantime, that's it. 12 new line items added to the price list in August. A bunch of changes to existing line items. Be sure before you close that X to like, subscribe, share this out with whoever needs to see it of, hey, here's these new line items we need to know about. We need to know how to use them. And we will continue to be putting out this amazing, hopefully amazing content that you guys enjoy that helps everybody learn. Yeah, we could be biased. But yes, please, sure to like, subscribe.
Yeah, share it internally with your team. That's some of the best circulation we get. You know, some of you folks that work at large companies like ATI and Fleet Response, go ahead and share this throughout your
Mhm.
teams and have conversations about what line items you'd like to see your teams include moving forward.
In the meantime, good luck settling those claims out there.
Keep building.
Always keep learning. Always keep growing, guys.